Ignore quarantine protocol and bring an infected guy coughing blood onto your ship. Take the first steps on an alien planet without so much as a helmet. Stick your face right in front of an alien egg. A lot of good that'll do you. Good lord, these characters are dumb. The following statement may be slightly exaggerated, but never in my years of silver screen watching have I witnessed such division amongst fans of a franchise as much as I did in 2012. And that was the year when director Ridley Scott churned out a piece of celluloid called Prometheus, which happens to be a prequel to the venerated 1979 sci-fi horror classic Alien. And though the critical response to Prometheus was generally favorable, when it came to movie fans, I think the film was caught in a tug-of-war between two groups of people. Those who found it to be an utterly illogical, messy, plot-hole-ridden piece of crap that generated more questions than answers, and those who saw it as an intelligent, misunderstood gem that profoundly examined the themes of creation, faith, and existentialism. So Alien Covenant has hit the big screen a bit more than a week ago, so how does it fare? This film is a sequel to Prometheus and a prequel to Alien. Naturally, you just can't please everybody, and such is the case with fans of Star Wars and Alien, so the amount of detractors that Alien Covenant has garnered isn't all too surprising. As for me, I thought Alien Covenant was a standardly good sci-fi horror flick. When it comes to the bundles of unanswered questions that Prometheus left behind, Alien Covenant does a serviceable job in tying up some loose ends here and there, but it seems to have deliberately left some questions just unanswered. So around 10 years after the events of Prometheus, we find ourselves on board the Starship Covenant. And the Covenant is a colony ship on a terraforming mission to a planet named Origai 6 with over 2,000 colonists and over 1,000 embryos frozen in cryostasis, with one android named Walter, played by Michael Fassbender, monitoring ship activities. An unexpected shockwave ends up dealing some damage to the ship, burning the captain alive and awakening the crew from their cryosleep pods. While making repairs, the Covenant's pilot, Tennessee, played by Danny McBride, receives a transmission from a nearby planet which appears to be more suitable for colonization. The dead captain's wife, Daniels, played by Katherine Waterston, has her objections about going to that planet, but is overruled by the ship's new captain, Oram, played by Billy Crudup. As the crew land on this Earth-like planet and get to investigating the source of the transmission, things go wrong. Horrifically fucking wrong. And as per usual, the body count goes up and we start finding out shit. Unlike Prometheus, which I did enjoy for the record, Alien Covenant definitely feels more like an Alien film, and Ridley Scott has evidently taken some extra care in recapturing the gloomy allure of the original. In my opinion, of course, I think the most impressive facet of this film's horror sections is Ridley Scott's ability to ingest some creativity into things that were shocking 38 years ago but might be seen as slightly outdated in this day and age. Compare the original's iconic chestbuster scene to this film's backbuster scene, for example. You'd think that an alien busting out of an unlucky bloke's back in a 2017 horror flick would pretty much be a yawn inducer in terms of shock value, but no, it was actually fucking gross and deliciously disturbing. Topping off some pretty effective horror is the exquisite amalgam of haunting visual grandeur, grim atmosphere, and balls-out tension, which showcases Ridley Scott's directorial prowess and its expansion over the decades. I know, Ridley Scott made a few stinkers here and there, but Reggie Jackson doesn't hit a home run every night, know what I mean? I think Alien Covenant finds itself in a pretty tight spot. Ridley Scott made it clear with Prometheus that he wanted to take the franchise in a different direction, as that film's story revolved around themes pertaining to humanity's cradle. His demanding duty in Alien Covenant is to provide fans of the original with the shock value worthy of the Alien name while expanding on the aforementioned themes of Prometheus. The film's second act involves plot exposition and some pretty interesting existential dialogue between Walter and David, two opposing androids both played by Michael Fassbender. And I thought these scenes were pretty cool because they examined the notions of humanity's intrinsic conjecture regarding its origins and what lies ahead beyond existence. Basically things beyond the scope of human comprehension. The issue for me was that the transitions between a sci-fi horror flick and an intellectual thematic one were pretty jarring, and it almost felt as if I was watching two different films stitched together, and that led to some slightly awkward tonal inconsistencies. While the overall storyline was engaging and had me glued to my seat, I couldn't help but feel that some of the exposition was rushed through. Viewers are still left in the dark on how the xenomorphs made it to LV-426, and we still have no idea why the engineers wanted to eliminate humanity. And just like in Prometheus, we have these characters that are supposed to be geniuses, but they just end up undertaking some of the most perplexingly idiotic decisions I've ever seen. If a nitpicking expert was reviewing this, then you guys will be here till next morning. The cast was pretty ace, and I think they all did a pretty fine job with their performances. Danny McBride was a really pleasant surprise for me. He's actually pretty good in dramatic roles, and I found his character to be pretty relatable. Katherine Waterston did a pretty good job as she transitioned from a supporting character to a heroine by the end of the third act. However, I do think she could have been better written because at times, in my opinion, she kind of came off as an inferior Ellen Ripley. Talking extensively about Michael Fassbender's dual performance will just give away spoilers, so I'm gonna say this. He is absolutely fantastic. He is a effectively creepy. Michael Fassbender carries much of the film's weight because its themes revolve around his characters. And as for the rest of the characters, disposable meat for the grinder, which is all too expected for a horror flick. So all in all, I enjoyed Alien Covenant. The storyline had me hooked from beginning to end, the performances are ace, the visuals are amazing, the atmosphere is gloomy, and there is a lasting shock factor. Unfortunately, the characters are dumb as a box of rocks, and there are still some questions that I want answers to. So I'm gonna give Alien Covenant a 7. So these are my thoughts on Alien Covenant. What did you think of the film? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you like what I do, give me a like, hit that big subscribe button, stay tuned, and I will see you on the next one.